Hi and welcome to Sam Draws. Today I'm doing some drawing of some D&D characters from a one-shot series that I played with some people in Wellington. The game is no longer happening, it finished, and this is I was mucking around during the game using these characters, and so here are some of the characters from that game. So this is Dillion, a half-elf bard. Half-elves in this particular world were not favoured creatures, as they were both half human and half-elf, and so Dillion spent our campaign hiding the fact that they were a half-elf. They spent a lot of their time entertaining a few people in a active show that was going on, being a fire dancer of some sorts. Dillion did carry around a ignitable set of bow and arrows that they were able to use to shoot at the enemies and ignite the arrows and set them on fire. Dillion ended up being one of the more prominent entertainers in the show until an infected werewolf had made its way into the village, and Dillion probably would have gotten best in show if it wasn't for the fact that he took off with the rest of the party to try and stop this werewolf before it went loose and probably could have taken out most of the town. So, Dillion, the half-elf bard. This is Reverend Grey, a human cleric. He is a cleric of death, not in the evil way, but in he was a character that helped the circle of life and understanding of helping people, that sort of thing. The text on his particular book in this drawing is actually the text that the player was using that I've converted to the actual title on his book. He had a book that he would mark down in the different villages he would visit, who had died and how they died, and would keep notes of these sorts of things. He knew a lot of languages and could speak a lot of languages. His book apparently was written in a weird text that would basically consist of Common and then Elven and then Goblin. And it just basically went from each language as a word as the sentence would go on, so it was very hard to read his writing and would take a while for himself to actually write it out. He has a chuckling skull that he can use to intimidate people, as it was a mace head that he could show into the face of enemies and intimidate them and scare them, as it would just laugh at them maniacally. He also would carry around a death mask that he would put on when he was getting serious. Otherwise, he was a middle-aged high reverend. We didn't really get much more out of him. He was very I wouldn't say secretive about what he did, but he was very locked in and purposeful in what he was, but he was a really entertaining character to be around. So this is Reverend Grey. So this is Orcus, the half-orc paladin. He was not originally a paladin, he was just a conscripted fighter for a particular army that, once he was able to break himself free and take off, he started wearing the armour that protected him, as it was quite strong armour, but it would hide it under a poncho and things that he would been given. His favoured weapon is a hammer, and he very much cares about those that are around, and during our party's playthrough, he was able to help another very badly hurt orc that was wandering about, and healed him back up to health, and caught the eye of one of the other players, who seemed to enjoy the fact that he was a man of faith. So, Orcus, the half-orc. So that's some of my art of the different D&D characters who were in our campaign, with a little bit of description on who they were. As I said, we only played a couple of games, so we didn't go that far with learning too much about the characters, but it was quite fun as a few of them were new to it and a few of us were sort of veterans, and so it was an all-round interesting game. And I hope to play with these guys again, but we'll see how that goes in the future. Till next time, this is Sam saying catch you later. Catch you later.